Welcome to the world of terrazzo floors, seamless floors that last the lifetime of the building. We would like to briefly introduce you to the history of terrazzo floors. Terrazzo floors date back 500 years. They were invented in Venice sometime in the 15th century. Terrazzo is Italian for terrace, where odd-shaped pieces of waste marble were placed in mortar to create beautiful patterns. A tool called galera was used to stand and grind the laid flooring. Goat milk was used on terrazzo to bring out color of marble. Terrazzo was brought into the United States in 1890, and gained popularity since 1920. Epoxies, polyesters, latex and acrylics have improved terrazzos in the last 40 years. What are terrazzo floors? Terrazzo floors are seamless finishes, used mostly on floors and sometimes on walls. They consist of decorative fillers and cementitious or polymeric binders mixed together and laid on the floor. Metal strips are used to divide sections or colors or patterns. They are then ground and polished to required finish. Epoxy terrazzo is far superior to cementitious terrazzo. Cementitious terrazzo can crack and chip off, if not well designed and cured. What is epoxy terrazzo? Epoxy terrazzo is a mixture of high-quality clear epoxy resin, mixed with color pigment, and chips of quartz, marble, granite, glass, mirror and mother-of-pearl. The cost of epoxy terrazzo depends on the type and quantity of fillers used. Marble and colored stone chips being the cheapest, and mother-of-pearl being the costliest. Multiple colors, designs and patterns, and the level of smoothness and sheen expected, also affect cost of terrazzo. We use epoxy resins from leading companies like Flowcrete, Tardigrade and SRS, in our epoxy terrazzo systems. We will now discuss some advantages of using an epoxy terrazzo flooring. Epoxy terrazzos come in a wide range of colors, designs and patterns. They can be customized to your requirement and are cast in situ, hence have some degree of flexibility. They provide a very modern look. Epoxy terrazzos are designed for use in large-scale commercial venues, subject to heavy foot traffic. They are the most durable flooring, with life cycle equal to that of the building, if well maintained. Usage of epoxy terrazzo also has some environmental benefits. 60% of aggregates used in epoxy terrazzo are recycled aggregates. Epoxy terrazzos have low maintenance requirement, leading to long-term energy savings. Recycled aluminium strips can be used for joints and dividers. Epoxy terrazzos are low in VOC. Old terrazzo floors can be stripped and resealed using acrylic sealers to restore original vibrancy, hence eliminating requirement of renovation of floors every few years. We would now like to compare the life cycle costs of different types of floors in comparison with epoxy terrazzos. This is the data published by NTMA, USA. As per the data, amount spent on flooring and flooring maintenance of any commercial building during its lifetime is 35 times the original installation cost. Hence, usage of epoxy terrazzo offers you the lowest life cycle cost, considering the fact that it only needs maintenance and refreshing, and does not need any reinstallation. We will now briefly demonstrate laying of epoxy terrazzo flooring. Please note that the base concrete has to be minimum M25 grade and above. First step is light grinding of concrete to expose surface pores. A uniform coat of epoxy moisture-tolerant primer will then be applied over concrete. While primer is still wet, provide a layer of fiberglass mesh to prevent cracks in concrete extending to terrazzo. Broadcast sand over the wet primer to act as mechanical key for subsequent coats. Fix metal strips or dividers for color separation or designs or patterns. Apply a uniform coat of epoxy primer, allow to dry. Mix the epoxy part A with pigment, followed by mixing with part B in a mixing drum until well blended. Pour in all aggregates one by one or together, and mix until consistent. Pour the epoxy terrazzo over primed area, spread uniformly and compact. When epoxy terrazzo has set and dried, start the grinding process. Dry grinding with number 30, 60 and 120 metal pads, followed by wet grinding with number 50, 100, 200 and 400 resin pads. Clean and mop surface thoroughly and allow to dry. Apply uniform coat of epoxy sealer gel to seal any pores, holes and dents, post-grinding. After the gel has cured, wet grind with number 200, 400, 800, 1500 resin pads. All edges and corners will need special care, with handheld grinders. Finally apply liquid polish and buff until required sheen achieved. We will now play a brief video on installation of epoxy terrazzo flooring. We will now display some images of projects executed by our epoxy terrazzo suppliers. We hope the concept of epoxy terrazzo flooring excited you. If you are designing a commercial project, or own one, and are looking for a flooring system that lasts the lifetime of the building, please do contact us. We carry out installation of epoxy terrazzo flooring through our interiors division, GEC Pro Interno. Our contact details are provided below. Looking forward to your most valued business.